blowing my cover a bit here, because despite being a content creator primarily known for my anime content, I've been scheming behind the scenes, carefully crafting a very special K-pop video. And don't worry if you are a confused anime fan who clicked on this video, I promise this will still be entertaining, because in the process of making the other K-pop video that I'm still working on, I went to a concert so strange, so unbelievably baffling, that talking about it in the other video would completely derail it. So instead, it is 11:45 p.m. and I am making a completely separate video directly after seeing Loosemble, the US debut ceremony. And notice, despite my ticket claiming it was a LOONA concert, the other title is much more fitting, because what I watched mere hours ago was neither LOONA nor a concert. So was it truly a scam? Or am I just a casual LOONA fan that was tricked by some weird marketing? Let's discuss that. And also, because I'm filming at night, I feel like this shirt is too dark to film the rest of the video in, but this was the concert merch. So if you were wondering what the t-shirt looked like, this was one of two of them. I just made an old man noise. For the other K-pop video I'm currently working on, I needed to attend 5 different K-pop concerts. And the groups that I ultimately decided to see were Blackpink, G-Idol, Blackpink again, I'm a blink, aespa, and LOONA. And I'll be honest, out of the 5 groups, LOONA was the one I was the least familiar with. Like, I know some LOONA songs like Paint the Town and Why Not, and yeah. But when I saw they were one of the next K-pop groups to come to New York City, I figured, sure, why not? I need to see 5 groups anyway. And while I don't really follow them, I thoroughly enjoyed the LOONA songs that have made it onto my playlist. And I figured that it would actually be pretty fun to discover a lot of their songs through their concert. But what I quickly learned was that despite me purchasing tickets to go see LOONA, LOONA no longer existed. And sure, could you have argued that if I was a big enough fan to go see LOONA's concert, I should have known that? But you know who else should have known that? The multiple arenas that tagged LOONA's old Instagram account when announcing this tour. I know it's true because I saw it myself right before I purchased my ticket, since I found out about this concert through an Instagram ad that promised me that I would be seeing LOONA. And when you look at this, I feel like you more think it's LOONA Assemble. You know, the same way it was Blackpink Born Pink, or Twice Ready to Be, G-Idol, Freetie, aespa, Hyperline, The Sync, whatever that one was. There's a ton of examples I can pull, but the point is that K-pop concert posters typically have the name of the group followed by the name of the tour. So LOONA Assemble didn't really look like I needed to do homework and combine LOONA Assemble into Loosemble, and that would be the group I would actually be seeing. And after finding this out, while I had initially been led to believe that Loosemble was a combination of LOONA and Assemble, 2 separate K-pop groups that formed a smaller K-pop group, that was also incorrect. In reality, 5 of the former members of LOONA assembled to form Loosemble, thus the name, which I get kind of makes sense in hindsight. But do you know why I could have been confused? There is actually a second group called Odd Eye Circle, and that is a second subset of 3 different girls from LOONA. And while I could probably make a whole separate video on LOONA, its 12 original members, and how it got to where it is today, quite candidly, it's already past midnight, and I really don't feel like brushing up on a history that I don't really understand myself. So since I can already feel the eyes of all the anime fans watching this glazing over, I'm gonna leave the Loosemble explanation for this video, as LOONA broke up for various reasons, and 5 of the group members re-debuted as Loosemble. But don't worry, if your only comment so far is that I'm stupid for not understanding LOONA's history before buying the ticket, when all of the promotional information, the entry information, the final email I got from the venue all said I was going to see LOONA when this was actually a Loosemble concert, don't worry, I've got a lot more beef with this concert than just that. When I realized I'd be seeing Loosemble and not LOONA, I initially took the news just fine. I didn't realize it until like 24 hours before the concert, because again, even my day of information said LOONA, but I mean, who really cares? Given that I really only knew a handful of LOONA songs to begin with, I was more than down to see a brand new group. And so I realized rather than try to memorize their song over 2 days, I would just go into the concert blind. And it was kind of strange anyway, because it was the day before the concert and I was struggling to find any of their music to stream, which is foreshadowing, since the dirty little secret is the reason why I was struggling to find their music online is because their music wasn't online yet. The day of Loosemble's first US concert was September 15th, and the release date of Loosemble's first ever EP was also September 15th, meaning that it completely didn't matter that I hadn't heard of the group prior to seeing them. And you can't even call me a fake fan, because I am now literally one of the first human beings to have seen them perform live. And the most I could possibly stream their music beforehand was like 12 hours before they actually performed it. Which really begs the question, did the people who bought tickets for this months in advance really buy this for Loosemble? Or did they buy it secretly hoping that since Loosemble didn't have a single song out yet, they would play LOONA songs at the concert as well? Lucky for me, I overheard a lot of of fans directly talking about this. But before I get to that, I need to give a brief overview of the venue and the merch shop, because the chaos started before the concert even did. I initially said that the concert was taking place in Madison Square Garden, and while that's technically true, it's not the arena you're thinking of, because rather than book the larger 20,000 seat capacity MSG, this concert was taking place at the 5,600 seat theater at MSG, which is actually not that surprising. I had previously seen G-Idol there, so I was pretty familiar with the venue going in, which means that I immediately recognized that the merch line was going to be a disaster. But while I had initially thought that this was the line to the ladies' room, since they were ladies in front of the room, this was actually the end of the merch line, which wrapped around, down some stairs, and had multiple line breaks so that people could actually get to their seats. It's kind of clear that the theater at MSG was not made for K-pop fans. But to give the venue credit, they clearly learned from the G-Idol concert, which was an actual nightmare. I'll talk more about it in the next K-pop video, but that time around, there were zero dividers anywhere, and people just started making lines that weren't even lines. It was just really bad. They were a lot more prepared this time, having roped off actual sections for people to wait in line. And the line did still end up taking like 30 minutes, but it was interesting for me to wait and listen to what people were talking about. Two people right in front of me had just met and were talking about when Loona first broke up, with one girl saying she was driving somewhere and had to sit in her car to cry, and the other guy literally canceled his plans so that he could sit at home and mourn the loss of Loona. So overall, I was pretty entertained. But by the time I got there at like 6:50, keep in mind the concert was starting at 7, the small medium shirts had long gone, and the person serving me had to walk to the other side of the merch booth to find me a large, which, credit to him, they had just sold out of larges and he didn't really know what to do. So I asked him if he could do it, and he actually did. So I do really appreciate that he found me a shirt. So thank you if you're watching this, but I doubt you are. And luckily, the men's room and the cocktail stand were right next to the merch line. So despite the concert starting at 7 p.m., I was able to use the restroom and get a double Jack and Coke that was far more Jack than Coke, and still make it just in time for the beginning of the show. And I'm glad I got there in time, because if I hadn't, I would have missed like 30% of the concert, which brings me to the biggest issue with this concert. As I've kind of alluded to, it wasn't actually a concert because they spent the majority of the time not singing. And again, I know there are going to be people that go,
it was called Loosemble, the debut US ceremony, so you should have known it wasn't going to be a full concert.
But when Ticketmaster lists your concert as a Loona concert, I'm going to assume it's a Loona concert. And I think that's pretty fair. Which, by the way, when double checking that Ticketmaster actually had it listed as a concert, which it did, I now see that their next concert was supposed to be in Santander Arena, but was actually canceled. That was supposed to be an even bigger arena, so I honestly wonder if it got canceled because they couldn't fill enough seats. So don't go complaining that I took a real fan's spot, okay? I promise you, there were still plenty of seats left at MSG. But getting back to my main gripe and spoiling the big reveal for you, the entire Loosemble concert lasts less than 2 hours, and they only sing 6 songs because their debut only consisted of 6 songs. And if you're going to say you should have known that, Sway, actually, I couldn't have known that for 100% certain because their music didn't come out until today, which is the day of the concert. And now you're probably wondering, if they only sang for 23 minutes, what were you watching for the other hour 40? And the honest answer is not much, because after spoiling us with 2 songs in the first 15 minutes, a third of all the music that would be played the entire night, they began with color talk, which I thought would be like a cute reoccurring theme throughout the concert, where they talked about 1, maybe 2 of the colors between their sets. But no, this was all going to be done at once through like a 20-minute lecture that genuinely made me start wondering if there was going to be a quiz at the end. That's not good for a concert. The way they explained it, each color had code words or keywords. I don't remember the exact word they used, but essentially it was an excuse to kill some time by talking about the group, their debut songs, and some of the behind the scenes facts. And lucky for them, every explanation ended up taking twice as long because they had to go line by line, speaking in Korean and then having the translator translate for them. And obviously that is a given. I'm not complaining at all that they had to use a translator. It's just something that I needed to point out, because when you're doing significantly more talking than singing, having everything needed to be said twice makes those segments last a lot longer. And color talk was just the first of many segments used to fill the time between songs. And this isn't to say I hated every segment they did. Some segments segments were more fun than others. I especially liked the dance challenge, which I initially thought was going to be fan cams of the fans doing their dances live, until I remembered that once again, their music only released 12 hours ago, and no one was going to know the dances. So it ended up being the Loosemble members dancing to other popular K-pop songs, which was especially fun for me when they played songs I liked. Going from Flower to Killin' Me Good to Spicy was an especially fun mix, and they even ended it by doing like 15 seconds of a Loona song, which was kind of mean because like you knew your crowd was really looking for you to perform those songs. And I'm not gonna lie, they genuinely did it for like maybe 15 seconds, dancing and not even lip syncing, and that was the loudest it got all night. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have a single song out before the day of your concert, it's clear that the people that did fill into your stadium went there for what you used to be and not what you are. That's unfortunate. Well, that was fun. So overall, the dance segment was a fun segment. But if I wanted to watch hot Asian girls dance to K-pop songs, I could have just scrolled on my For You page at home. That was a joke, but no one's gonna get that that's a joke. Well, kind of. And while I get that the other segments would have been more fun for me if I really knew who they were, I actually felt bad for the big fans of Loona that went to this Loosemble concert, because I don't think that they got what they wanted either. The two people in front of me were a girl and her dad, and between what she was saying before and her Loona light stick, it was clear she was super excited to see Loona. But by 30 minutes in, the dad literally asked out loud,
"Are they really only going to play 6 songs?"
And by the hour mark, he began prepping his daughter for that unfortunate reality. And she looked really disappointed. And just looking at the crowd filled with high bongs, that's the name of their light stick, I know, it's the actual official name. But just looking at all the high bongs in the crowd, I couldn't help but feel bad for the audience of Loona fans that were tricked into going to this Loosemble concert. As time went on, you could feel the energy actively leaving the room as everyone realized that yes, this wasn't really going to be a concert. They were only playing 6 songs. And I'm sure getting to watch the dance segments and behind the scenes segments and hear the girls talk was exciting for them. And credit to Loosemble, they did really try to engage their audience. But as a cynical person who sees the massive amount of money behind this operation, the whole production just reeked of a cash grab to me. And it's just amazing to me that even after this concert, in between hearing the conversations of the disappointed fans that couldn't believe that only 6 songs were played, there were other people actively talking about whether or not they should buy a t-shirt. And I can't help but just think that Loona's fans deserved better than that. So, can I truly call LOONA Assemble a scam? I mean, I go back and forth on it, because technically, this was 5/12 of LOONA assembling, and despite it being listed as a concert, the Ticketmaster description mainly called it a performance. And I guess, what is a concert but a performance that has some songs in it? But to advertise this as LOONA Assemble instead of Loosemble, and to not release your music until the day of the concert, I also understand why fans were kind of disappointed by this. So, was I upset that I went to LOONA Assemble? Actually, no. And if anything, this made for the easiest script I've written in my entire life. I wrote like 80% of it during the concert and on the train ride home. Shows you how interesting those segments were to me. And then I took a shower and here we are now. So if nothing else, it provided for some great content. And honestly, with how long I've been recording, it would be really funny if one of my longest ever videos on my predominantly anime channel was a K-pop rant about a random concert. And thank you for watching this if you weren't interested in K-pop but just wanted to hear me rant. But for now, I mean, I did enjoy the 19% of this concert that was dedicated to singing, so I guess I'm interested in seeing what Loosemble does next. I don't know, this entire experience was kind of confusing to me, and I feel like it just ended super abrupt